Good evening. I am Matt Stern. I'm one of the directors at large of the SMA. Thank you. That's not the exciting part. That's not the state. Where was it? It's an honor to participate in this award ceremony recognizing these amazing pillars of our profession. The Stage Managers Association is very pleased to next recognize Mary Kay Klinger with the Hughes Award for Lifetime Achievement in the Art of Stage Management. The thrill of honoring Mary is that by giving her this award, she's actually given us on the committee a great gift. Witnessing her genuine kindness and spirit has moved us all and given us so much more than the honor we are bestowing. I imagine there have also been many companies across the country that you've connected with in this way. The Del Hughes Committee, the SMA, and our community at large are so pleased that she was able to make this journey here tonight. Mary's career reaches into some of the most extraordinary theater companies, not just Broadway, but Steppenwolf, DC Shakes, the Denver Center, CTG, the Old Globe, and many, many others. They've all benefited from her spirit. She's also impacted our industry by training generations of stage managers during her 20 years as an adjunct professor of stage management at USC. Her career represents a distinguished and admirable artistic body of work. One of her dear colleagues couldn't be here tonight, but here are a few words we've been asked to share from your dear friend, Jimmy McDermott. Before Mary's presenter is introduced, I want to briefly talk about one of tonight's Del Hughes awardees, Mary Kay, without a period. 33 years ago, I met Mary when she was hired at the Mark Taper Forum as a PA for a 3-show rep I was PSM for. I immediately perceived the potential of Mary as a stage manager. Our actual journey started when I needed an ASM for Lost Highway. My perception was correct. Mary's journey of learning and growing produced a successful and fabulous career. She and I worked together on many shows. In fact, I assisted her on a few, which included 2 shows, Spunk and Jelly's Last Jam, again at the Mark Taper Forum, directed by the gentleman you will soon be introduced to. I have to say, of all the shows that I've been involved with in my career, the one I consider the best in my life, and I'm so proud to have been a part of, was being Mary's first assistant on the world premiere of Angels in America at the Mark Taper Forum. Mary went on to New York with Angels and was able to continue her relationship with the director and her presenter tonight. In my opinion, Mary was the best stage manager that I have worked with. In fact, she became the best stage manager I know, and that includes myself. Her passion, dedication, love of theater, love for the actors who she respects, protects, her commitment in her entirety to the director and the play she is working on, and her love of stage managing. All of this is what defines her as an artist, the art of stage managing. It has been my honor to grow up with Mary. She and her husband Phil have become very close friends and colleagues to my husband Pat and myself. I applaud and congratulate Mary Kay Klinger for receiving the Del Hughes Award for her distinguished career in stage managing. Thank you, James T. with the period, McDermott, Jim. So it is now my honor to introduce George C. Wolfe, who you may have guessed by now is presenting the award to Mary. As an esteemed director, playwright, and 3-time Tony Award winner, George's work is synonymous with intelligence, wisdom, collaboration, and creativity. He directed the original Angels in America plays Millennium Approaches and Perestroika, for which have been heralded as one of the most important pieces of theater to come out of the late 20th century. He led the public theater for over a decade, creating theater that challenges audiences, explores social issues, seeks change from complacency, and demands the best of us. As I'm told, he also demands the best from his stage managers. I haven't had the pleasure of working with George, so I did some research with a few who had. What I learned is that you have to be at the top of your game to work with George at the helm. His caffeine-fueled sense of humor is matched only with his intense psychological and philosophical insights. And no matter how much you chase him around with a chair, he will end up sitting on the floor. He's not only an inspiring artist, the force behind many great works, Take Me Out, Carolina Change, Normal Heart, etc., etc., but also a passionate advocate for inclusion. He brings together and amplifies the voices of those who are not being heard. He has done this for us in the theater and is also doing this with his distinguished work in film and television. It's no surprise he was inducted into the American Theater Hall of Fame in 2013. We are honored that he is here to bring his distinguished voice and perspective to this evening's festivities. It's my sincere pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. George C. Wolfe.
Wait. So speaking of that stunning, extraordinary work, Angels in America, let's go back in time. The first preview. Jerry Robbins is in the audience. Who does that? We had canceled 2 or 3 weeks of previews. Yes, it was my fault, but I don't care. We needed to do that to protect the actors. The pressure is on. It's extraordinary. Mary is on the board, calling 857 cues every 3 minutes. We had a program, a computer program, that I think was connected to Detroit and the car industry. So when we were teching, we had to keep on tricking it to do what we wanted it to do instead of building cars right in the middle of the stage. So pressure, horror. Extraordinary play. We're in previews, first show, going brilliantly, going extraordinary. Oh my God, but you hear the sound of Tony Krishna over there writing a novel, which I then got later that day, and it was not a novel, it was notes of what I was doing wrong, but that's beside the point. We come to the final scene. Pryor is in the bed, looking up. Triumphant music, horrifying music, light cues, everything is going. He's looking up. The audience is looking up. He's looking up. The audience is looking up. The angel does not come down. Mary's, with her 857 cues, is working the board. All of a sudden, perfect storm, all forms of communication go out between her and the crew. The audience is like, ah! Stephen Spinell is, ah! The audience is, ah! And then you hear, open up the ceiling so the angel can come through. Other people report her as saying, open up the damn ceiling so the angel can come through. She has a version of it where she says, open up the window so the angel can come through. That degree, but, and then the angel came through and everybody cheered and everything was fine. But it was a stunning moment in the American theater, because no matter what, something magical happens. And in that case, that magic would not have happened were it not for Mary. I still haven't recovered. And then there was the time that we were working on a show in LA. I won't say which, but because I did a bunch of them in LA. And the light designer vanished after about 3 previews. And so Mary and I sat there, and during time where we were not working, and we relit the show. She and I relit the show. The lighting designer ended up getting an award for And then when Spunk went to London, around that time she and I started to become friends, but then when we were in London, I realized this was a dear friend of mine who I deeply loved, we also, you know, it's London, you're doing a play, you're drinking a lot, because the British, and that's when I dubbed her Mary Queen of Scotch. But through all the journeys and all the productions that I've worked with, oh, and there's my favorite time, there was another actor in a production who periodically, if he didn't like the way the audience had reacted, would stick out his tongue during the curtain call. Like literally, and bow. And Mary said, if you either keep your tongue in your mouth or don't come out there for your curtain call. And he changed and fixed his behavior. She has a heart that is so large, an intelligence that is all-encompassing, a bravery and a sense of correctness and a strength that doesn't make other people feel less than. It's a strength that allows other people to see the possibility that exists inside of them. I've seen her use that energy on actors. I've seen her use that energy on young stage managers. She is grace. She is heart, beyond caring, beyond discipline. Everything she does with all of herself. She is a great theater practitioner, and she is a great human being and friend. I am very honored and very thrilled to bring to the stage the lovely Mary Klinger.
Hi, y'all. Oh my goodness. I'm not really a public speaker. And I struggled and I thought about this speech for a really long time, and basically what y'all said was really perfect. It works really well for me. I agree wholeheartedly with what you previously said. Actually, my version of Open the Ceiling is, what I actually said was, open the motherfucking ceiling. So I want to thank, first off, Cheryl has become a real good friend of mine, just through emails. She's been so supportive and so helpful, and I really want to thank her. I want to thank Ellen Marie, and I want to thank the entire Stage Management Association, which I understand I'm now a lifetime member of, which is, that's kind of cool. For the Dell Hughes Lifetime Achievement Award for Excellence in the Art of Stage Management. Boy, for a bunch of stage managers who usually just say, cue, go. That's a really long award, but I'm so grateful, and I'm so flattered, and I'm delighted to receive this award. You can tell I'm a little shaky. Thank you. Good. Stage managers only exist as part of a greater whole, where the work we do is indeed art, and it's the art of the collective. We're part of that larger piece, and we create with those actors every night that we do the show. I love calling a show. I really feel like I'm communicating not only with the actors, which I am, it's a sort of a call and response, but also with the audience at large. And it's the most wonderful thing in the world. I love my work with the designers. I love my work with the crew. I love that moment when the director, when the director is happy and is pleased and can finally let go of the show, which is never. I love the actors, and I don't think that we can do this if we don't love the actors. Truly. We have to care for them, we have to respect them. My actor friends are in the audience. Thanks, Bruce. I'm grateful for my career, and I'm and for getting this award. What has happened, I keep going to refer to it, it's right here. For getting this award made me stop and look back at my career. It made me update my resume so I could send it short. Okay, here it goes. And I can't, like Rich was saying, I can't believe what a long, and you were saying this too, 40 years, and it doesn't feel that way. It feels like a moment or moments and moments and moments, and instead it's been 40 years that we've been doing this. It's stunning, and I'm so grateful to have been able to look back at it and realize as I've retired now that what a great life I've had. I've had such a fantastic, I worked with Elizabeth France too, we went on tour together. It's so great. Lifetime of work. Look at that. I spilled water on this just before I came out. Thanks to my dear friend George, we have journeyed, clearly, through a lot, and I don't need to go through it again. We started, actually, in the workshop of Jelly's Last Jam with David, what's his name? David Greer. David Allen Greer played Jelly in that. And then, this isn't in my speech, but then I went on tour for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because it's a production contract, and there's the director right there. And George called me after we had done this workshop. He called me like a year later, and he said, "Would you just get off the road with that stupid turtle show?"
Thanks, George.
So I did.
Never happened. She's making it up.
Oh my God. That's enough about George. No, actually, George, you really inspired me, and you held me up. And you've held me up through all these years and through all of our friendship and all of our. Remember when I used to call you from LA just whenever Phil and I go out for drinks? Say, hey, we're drinking, we thought of you. and Frank Bear, who I'm thanking later in this, who's no longer with us, fantastic stage manager and a great production manager.
Yeah.
Of our favorite forum. He picked up this Mary Queen of Scotch and actually wrote a letter to my landlord in New York, where you're supposed to get references. He decided he'd write one, and he actually wrote Mary Queen of Scotch. So, thanks, George. Okay. I also want to thank Jimmy McDermott, who couldn't be here tonight, which I'm sad about, but I understand the reasons why. He was always my mentor. He really took me by the hand and took care of me. And I think you can sort of tell from what he wrote in that speech. He's fabulous. I want to thank Gordon Davidson and Frank Bear, who aren't with us anymore. The two of them were magnificent influences, just great in my life, really important. And to my students, who are working all over the country, I'm so proud of them. They're just, it's amazing. And one of them is here tonight. Kat Meister, she played that there. Hey, Kat, thank you so much for coming, sweetheart. I want to thank Kathleen, I want to thank Bruce, and I want to thank Tom White, who are here tonight, for all the support that they've given me throughout my career.
We love you!
He's the loud one in the group. And for all the work you've given me, Tom, I really appreciate that. I want to thank my best friend Nancy Charles, who flew here from Montreal just to take care of me. As you can see, I'm a little unsteady these days, need looking after. I appreciate it so much.
Love you.
I love all of you, and I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm so grateful to be with all of my fellow award winners, and it's not really winning, I guess, it's really recognition. And what a lovely, wonderful thing to come to the end of your career and receive. Nobody knew I was retiring. It just sort of happened. And then to get this, thank you. Thank you so much. It really means a lot.